DC, bring us in.
All right, and we're back. I am pumped up, wired up. We have Maggie here.
What's up?
Maggie the Truth Crowley.
I like that. That works.
How good is that?
She is the truth.
She is the truth.
Yeah.
I just came up with that. Yeah. So Maggie is the host of the Build podcast, which you should subscribe to and leave 5 stars. 6 stars is exclusively for Seeking Wisdom.
Yeah. All day.
I'll take 5.
Speaking of 6 stars, DG gave his annual presentation at the Harvard Business School, where Maggie is a graduate. And, you know, he's been rumored to have won the Best Speaker award multiple years in a row.
It's a, you know, the best part about one marketing lesson I've learned is you can, if you create the award, you can win it.
Win it every 2 years. Yeah, consecutive.
However, this was the first year though. I didn't know you guys were gonna be there today, and then when I was in the class.
You heard the applause. You heard the
but I felt the force.
Okay,
I knew something was off.
Feedback was coming.
I knew. I was like, I gotta make sure I don't say anything. I knew I was like I knew like the presence. And then, sure enough, before the intro, Tom said, Tom Eisenman, he said, and if you don't know, Professor. I didn't know what I do. I call him Doctor, Professor.
He's Tom.
I call him Tom.
Yeah.
And so he said that you guys were down the hall, which I didn't know, in a different building, doing the first drift case.
Yeah.
The drift case is now officially at HBS. Maggie and I had a nice off-the-record conversation about HBS earlier, and it was cool. It was actually a good learning lesson because the things that we talked about, that the things that seem obvious often aren't.
Yeah.
And I said to Maggie, it's not an HBS thing. I have this fear almost any time I speak or present something. I'm like, I don't have any secrets. Like, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm worried people are gonna be like, yeah, dude, it's obvious. And Maggie was like agreeing. So
what I loved about our format was it was a live case style. So it was Mark Roberge was kind of leading it on my side, and then Julia and Frank was leading it on the other side, and with cool. Elias in that class and me in this class. And what was cool about it was that we would pose a question, then everyone would vote, interactive voting, and then we would discuss, we'd give 4 fake scenarios or 5 fake scenarios. They would vote which one they thought we had chosen, and then I would explain the real choice and why I made that choice. And every time, everyone voted for the other choices. Our choices were never the ones that were voted for. And one of the choices, which was how we commissioned the first salesperson, got 0 votes. The actual choice. What
were the options?
Yeah. The options. The first option was 50-50, which is like 50% variable, 50% fixed, which is the most common. The second was like an 80-20, but on revenue. The C, which was the correct answer, was no variable. The third was 80-20 variable only on logos, not revenue. And so most people chose D, logos, which is logical.
Yeah.
So all the choices that everyone voted for the most were the most logical, but also the wrong choices.
Which is awesome because also the context of that, there was like that that first sales hire here was great for us, might not be great for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like
exactly,
you have somebody
he
could code, he was writing JavaScript, fixing the Wi-Fi, and doing sales. That's a different profile.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's up on your before we talk about what we're going to talk about today?
Great.
What's the word on Build these days?
I got a couple of good ones coming up. I have an expert in conversation design talking about how to bring voice to your products. I also have the founder of Superhuman on product market fit, recommendation from DC on how to measure that and when NPS does make sense. Mm-hmm. And then I'm thinking about one on how to use video to 10x your product team feedback.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Deep in the current how Drift builds products section.
That's awesome. And if for those 2 or 3 people out there on the internet who have not listened to Build yet, hit them with some of the names of some of the companies that you've had on so far.
Well, we've had Christina Wodtke, who might be making an appearance in this show.
She was at LinkedIn, right?
She was, LinkedIn Zynga.
Yep.
Now a professor at Stanford. We have just had Craig Daniel, our VP of Product here at Drift. We haven't
heard that
had
one
DC
yet, Craig.
Yet, though.
Yeah, I'm going to have to check
You're going to listen to that one?
No, not yet. I'll listen to today.
It was a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on. In my notes about Christina, she also redesigned MySpace and their profile pages.
She's legit.
That's cool.
That's of DG's era.
Oh, yeah. Top 8.
Yeah, MySpace.
Get in the top 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who else have you had on?
Yeah, go.
We've
Amplitude?
Some people from Amplitude, person from Atlassian. We've had someone from Confluence. We've had people from, of course, I can't remember all of the other ones.
Pluralsight?
Pluralsight, yep. All three authors of the product leadership book.
Wow. It's pretty good podcast.
Yeah.
You should go listen to it. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, so if you don't get
It
enough,
is actually, I like Maggie's podcast better than this one.
if it's because it's more focused. If you don't get what you want out of us from general stuff,
Yeah.
go to Maggie. If you're a product person, if you like building, if you like design, product management, engineering, all that stuff, that is your show.
Yep.
For sure.
Absolutely.
What have you learned? What have you learned doing this show, by the way? Like, do you
How
think
have you
you've
learned?
changed?
I've learned a ton.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I think the biggest thing that I've learned is that what we were talking about before is that even things that you think were obvious are not obvious. And people are doing just the simplest, clearest things, but they're actually doing them, and they're the ones that are successful.
Yeah.
And the people who are just talking about it don't end up being as successful.
It's also like a secret little hack, which is like if you have a podcast and you have guests on, it's like your own learning hack. You are
Absolutely.
learning these things, and then you get to do your own show
Right.
and listen and learn. It's amazing.
After almost everyone, we end the podcast, and then I'm like, all right, so I have these 3 things I'm working on. How would you approach
That's
this? What
awesome.
would you do?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that almost sounds like that should be a Seeking Wisdom t-shirt there. The obvious is not obvious.
Yeah.
Something like
Yeah.
that.
Well,
That's
what
the
we were
whole-
talking about with the kids at HBS was the questions I was asking them when I was reviewing their business plans were, did you Google it?
Yes.
How do I know if someone's going to pay? Did you ask them to pay?
No.
Nope.
No.
Okay.
Okay. All right. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, so
Yeah.
today we're going to talk about. There's a great article. So we do a lot of book reviews on this show, and we dug into all the authors, and for whatever reason, all the authors of those business books often tend to be dudes.
True.
And so there was actually a great article in Inc. A couple weeks ago by the managing editor at Inc. His name is Jeff Hayden. And it was 60 great business and leadership books, all written by women. And so we thought we would pick off 8 to 10 of the best books that we've read from this and talk about it and give people a little bit of a hit list of books beyond what we always talk about on the show. Cool?
Super cool.
Okay. DC,
I'm ready.
you ready? Okay, number 1. Radical Focus by Christina Wodtke.
Wodtke.
You know her.
Yes.
Okay, she's done everything. Lecturer in HCI at Stanford, worked with Yahoo, New York Times on improving their website. She created the She created the LinkedIn newsfeed, led a redesign of MySpace, and led design of the Zynga platform. So that's one of DC's favorites out of this list, and I know that is now one of your favorite people.
Yep.
Second one is Powerful by Patty McCord.
What did you think of the book?
Oh.
though? We skipped the book.
Sorry.
Radical Focus.
I love the book because it's not only how to use goals and OKRs, but she has a story that in the first half that teaches you sort of exactly how one might use those goals in real life when you're actually working.
Yeah, she uses the Patrick Lencioni, I always say his name wrong, but kind of parable style, right, which she mentioned on the podcast, of like teaching by telling stories.
That's great.
And so that book is great. I can still remember the story and the whole thing that they went through in a way that I would not be able to remember it if it was just facts.
Okay, another one, Powerful by the real homie Patty McCord.
Still one of our most popular podcasts ever.
That one was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And I think, it's okay, so Patty, if you don't know, she had 14 years, she was head of talent and people at Netflix. And I pulled 2 Patty McCord quotes because this says everything you need to know about who Patty is in the book. Patty believes, this is from her bio, Patty believes people come to work as fully formed adults with a desire to make an impact and be proud of what they do, and she's on a mission to spread the word that we can do this differently. There's one key word in that paragraph, adults.
Yes.
Because that's the whole book, right?
Yep.
And that's her whole mantra if you listen to that podcast.
It's a great book. Highly recommend it. We have that in our book club. But I would recommend the book is like 50%. You have to listen to her. So listen to her on the podcast.
Yeah.
Episode will be linked below. Amazing. Still fan favorite. I think it's #1 podcast we've ever done. Not because of us, but because of Patty. And then go search on YouTube and try to find some talks that she's given.
Yeah.
And she's just an amazing speaker. And it comes through more than that book does.
Yeah, because she's you want to talk to her.
She's real.
She doesn't
Yeah.
seem corporate. She doesn't seem like who you'd think of as a seasoned HR exec.
Yeah, the first time I met her years ago, I was fascinated because I was like, how does she say all this stuff? And everyone's like, yes! And I'm like, if I said all this stuff, people would like throw stuff at me. I'm like, I don't know, she can say it in such a great way, and that she really resonates and can connect with people.
She's awesome.
Note to self: connect with people.
Third one is Meaningful by Bernadette Jiwa. You put me on her. Have you read any of her stuff? I think it'd be right up your alley. We gotta break you off.
Yeah, we have a bunch of
Tell
her
me.
books in the lobby here. It doesn't help you if you're listening to this, unless you come to Drift. You can come in our lobby and get some of Bernadette's books. She's from New Zealand, amazing early homie of Seeking Wisdom and Drift. She's written a bunch of books, marketing, meaningful. I can't remember all these books, but we read all of them.
Marketing, A Love Story was another one that we read.
Yeah, and great. She was almost like in the beginning of starting Drift. She was almost like our muse.
Yeah.
I mean, like what she was saying was exactly the same in a much more eloquent way. What we were thinking, like she really put that together, and so we love her work. Again, she's a speaker. You can find her stuff on. She spoke at TED down in New Zealand, TEDx, and listen to her stuff. But her writing's amazing. And first time I picked up a book from her, the intro was written by Seth Godin.
Okay, so this is the point I was going to
How's it?
make. This is a little hack that I found.
Yeah.
Well, which is like Seth Godin, if you've ever read or listened to any of his stuff, she's one of the 2-3 people that he plugs over and over.
Yeah.
And so there's always like if you really want to learn, you want to find the great people who are making these spaces. If you go a couple levels deeper, so you got somebody in product that you love or whatever. I love Seth Godin. If you find out who's influencing Seth Godin and then go read those books, that's how I think DC probably came across.
Yeah, that's how I
Bernadette
found
Jiwa.
it. That's one of my favorite little hacks, if you want to call it that, or tricks. It is to find the people that you look towards are always recommending, like what's the 1 or 2 names. Warren Buffett has this further hack, which is he asks people when he's trying to understand an industry, he'll find like the top people in any given industry. Let's just say it's I don't know what, microphones, and he'll go to them, meet with them, and he used to do this a lot early in his career and say, if you had to bet your all of your savings to take care of your family forever while you're gone, what's the one company you would bet on and why? And who's the leader in that
It's
company
amazing.
that you would bet on and why? And so we'd ask them that. He would basically frame it as like, you have to make a bet. Who is the bet? It can't be your company. Which one would you bet on? And so then he would go around the entire industry and then end up feeling like he would learn more than any one of those people because he was getting a frame to understand who was the best in the industry and why and what were the holes. So
I've seen screenshots from DC of like the credits page of a book, like page 317, the back page,
so I'm
and
looking.
It's like all the footnotes.
Yeah,
and he's like, buy all those
citations, right?
books.
Who's been footnoted the most? Who are they referencing all the time? And then I try to find all of those people. Who are the ones that are common patterns there? And those are the ones I'm going to go look for. The teacher of the teachers.
All right, another one on this list, Radical Candor by Kim Scott, which is Kim led AdSense, YouTube, and DoubleClick at Google. Then she joined Apple and built out all of their training. She has been CEO coach at Dropbox, Qualtrics, Twitter. Another book that we read at Drift.
I feel like that's someone you should have on your podcast.
Kim?
Yeah.
I'd love to have her.
Yeah.
Kim
Kim
would be
Scott, if
great.
you're listening, the homie Kim, she says she wears one of her favorite t-shirts is a Drift t-shirt we sent her. Yeah. So anyway, Kim Scott, homie, great book. This is a fantastic book. And it's right up the alley. It's not about OKRs, but it's in the same vein as Christina's book. And so definitely someone who, Maggie, I could see you guys kind of mind meld.
It's
Absolutely.
all about feedback.
Yes.
This book.
Always.
Yes.
In all aspects.
Maggie's like, feedback? What?
Yeah, surprise podcast.
I love that. I love her the way he loves it. Anticipated feedback. That's the
That's
G.
his own book.
Because she has this concept in there that she calls radical candor. And when I was like, yes, I love radical candor.
What did she say?
I want radical candor.
She said, radical candor is not about schmoozing, nor is it about endless extroversion that exhausts the introverts on your team or wears you out if you happen to be
Now
an
you shout it
introvert.
out.
It's not about getting
you.
drunk or driving go-karts or playing laser tag. Then she said, the way
Listen.
you ask for criticism and react when you get it goes a long way towards building trust or destroying it.
Do you see why she has my heart?
Yes. This is a great book. If you're a manager, this is a must
read.
Must read. And I think it changes the way that you will communicate at work, no doubt. I'm going to do one more because I want to link to this whole list and we'll give it to everybody. But the last person on this list, a little gem is Behind the Cloud, who Carly Adler wrote with Mark Benioff.
She
And
wrote
I
a
don't know
bunch
if
of
you've
books.
seen the hit list. You have seen the hit list that she's written. She wrote Behind the Cloud, Meditation for Fidgety Skeptics, which is Dan Harris's book.
Yep.
Startup Land, which is the Zendesk story.
Yep.
And
Mikhail's
can
book.
you guess the last one?
Okay, I know them all. Hold on.
You do. We got Behind the Cloud.
Mm-hmm.
We got Startup Land.
Did she co-write Hard Thing?
She wrote Hard Thing About Hard Things
Yeah,
with Ben
yeah.
Horowitz.
Huh? That's a pretty good lineup, huh?
That's a pretty good.
She's badass. She's in New York. If you're listening to this podcast, shout it out.
Yeah.
Let's hang out.
So we'll link to all this. We have the 60 great business and leadership books, all written by women.
Did you read any of those books? Which of those books have you read?
I've
I'm
read out of the. Are you,
I'm asking
Oh,
Maggie.
you asking Maggie? I was gonna say. You don't want to know.
Radical Candor for sure.
Yeah.
She wrote down must read. This
Yeah,
book.
I want to read. I haven't read Behind the Cloud.
Oh my god. What?
I know. I just.
That's gotta
Gee.
be the Drift onboarding.
Gee.
Behind the Cloud.
What am I
Did you
doing?
read Behind the Cloud? Okay.
Gee, please.
I'm reading The Fifth Discipline right now.
You are?
Mm-hmm. Are you
So
reading
that's a
that?
deep
Yeah.
cut.
What?
You already
Yeah.
found that is 90% of the secret. If DC
What?
posts a picture,
How
of the
did you
book
find
and
that book?
buy it, you posted it. Your
that how you
Instagram.
found
It's
it?
on like top business books of
Is
all
that how you
time.
found it though? How did you find it?
Probably Googling what books I should read to be better at my job.
What?
There's literally
I
last
posted
week
that
I saw
last
a
week.
picture of you with the book.
I think it was
Discipline.
when I started thinking about product strategy, and then I needed to think about systems thinking, and I
Yeah.
ordered it several months ago.
I ordered a
And-
book, a stack this big that's on my desk. We'll post a shot of all strategy books. First one that I picked off the top was Fifth Discipline, and the author is a professor at MIT. I don't know, he doesn't teach that much right now, but in the business school. And get this, I'm gonna show you something here just for the people.
I
Get
know.
ready, people.
Okay.
Get ready. Are you ready? Who's ready? All right. So I post that in my Instagram stories. I don't know if Maggie follows me though, but
I do. You don't follow me though.
Oh my.
Oh. There's a
Savageness.
clip for you right there.
You know what? Because in my defense, Maggie's one of those private people, so I never request anyone who's private.
True.
They'll be like, DG's,
Learn all the secrets.
DC's creeping on me. He's
Yeah.
creeping. He asked
Yeah.
for access
You
to my
can't-
feed.
you can't-
So I have a
All the
rule.
food I
No
eat.
opt-in.
So the way it works at Drift, just so everyone knows, in case you're wondering,
Yeah.
if you have a private feed,
Yes.
Elias will request 100% of the time.
What? It makes him want it more.
More.
True.
DC will never ever request if you're a private feed. 100%. So if you want, so Maggie's private, so I will not touch that. I'm like this. I will not. No. Do not request.
Hey, you better.
Do you want this old dude creeping on you? All right. So I'm gonna find you something here for the people because I like these people. So I posted that on my Instagram feed.
Yeah.
I get a note in my message. I got a lot of DMs here. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
people.
you have
I get a
more
DM
DMs
from my
than me.
boy over here. See, I posted this. So, you know.
Oh, look at that!
That's when I was at Deer Valley.
Oh, we didn't talk about that.
I won't talk about that. That was legit. So I post that, and then I get I'm lost here on
Yeah.
Instagram. I get a note here and it says, "Nice choice. My dad wrote that book."
Let me give you one more. Let me give you one more thread. I get a message.
This is one of my homies who follows me.
I get a
on-
message from Ian. He goes,
You know Ian? This
my
is Ian.
CrossFit coach.
What?
Smallest world on the planet.
This
Ian,
dude?
So
My
Ian,
homie?
Ian messaged me. He goes, oh my. He messaged me, and we'll have to pull this up. He goes, DC just. He goes, oh my God. He messaged me on Instagram. Oh my God, DC's reading my dad's book. I'm not sure what to do. I think I might have to slide into his DMs.
He did. He slid in the DMs.
So
but
where we are.
for Ian, I have a public profile.
Yeah.
I don't want to friend request Maggie because she's gonna think I'm gonna slide into the DMs. So no, negative.
So there
Will
you
not
go,
happen.
Ian. You
Ian
made it
my
on
boy
Seeking
Ian
Wisdom.
right here. Look at him, CrossFit coach.
There he is.
His dad
Oh, yeah.
is wrote the book.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna Ian, if you're listening,
listening.
tell your dad to get on the show. We need
Amazing.
him on the show. Bring in Papa Senji, and we'll have him on the show.
All right.
All right.
Send us out.
Send us out of here. Maggie's gonna send us out of here. She's legit.
All right, we need 6 stars for this team. Tell DC to continue to not follow me on Instagram. And let's get some more books by ladies.
I
Shout
know,
out
wait,
who
wait.
your favorite.
Dig it.
What
I
I
know.
want to
When
see
are you
is
gonna write?
in the reviews, I want to see books written by women about business who are also not white.
Yes,
Please.
please post those.
That's
By the way,
Uh,
I've been trying to read your notes. I thought this
Yeah.
said this says plus more,
Plus
but I
more.
thought it said plug more. Like you wrote yourself like going into
Yeah.
today's show. Like I'm gonna plug
I'm
this.
very
more.
Gonzalo, can you
uncomfortable
zoom in on the screen here?
with self-promotion.
For my defense
At
here,
least Maggie
this
will be
is
able to
Maggie Crowley's
accept.
account is private, and who follows her? Elias Torres.
Yeah.
Of course.
Look.
Yeah, he also calls me on Saturdays just because he knows it makes me uncomfortable.
Look, this is private. So look, see this? I will never touch this request. Follow back button. All right.
I love it.
See
We're
ya.
outta
6
here.
stars only.
See ya.